What's up, guys? This is Super Ninja Austin here, back with another episode of the SNA podcast. And this is the special edition of the AEW Dynamite review because this is Grand Slam weekend, or not weekend, Grand Slam week, I mean. I need to get my introductions correctly. But anyway, yeah, this is the Grand Slam week of AEW. Happy Grand Slam to you all in the wrestling internet community out there. But yeah, it wasn't higher than expectations like I expected it to be. But it was not, on the high expectation, but it still was a great show. And I'm going to talk about here on the 41st episode of the SNA podcast, the AEW Grand Slam edition, Dynamite Part 6 review. Not 6. Yeah, I'm right. Part 6 review. Let's begin, though. The point is, let's start. We're going to start off with the champion versus champion match with Eddie Kingston defending his New Japan Strong Openweight Championship against Claudio Castagnoli, which he's defending his AEW World Championship in not AEW, it's Ring of Honor World Championship. I hope I didn't say AEW. But anyways, this was title for title match. This opened the show. I expected to be Ray Phoenix against Jon Moxley, but I guess I was wrong about that. Because the Jon Moxley match is going to be in the middle of the show. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. But we're going to talk about Eddie Kingston in this match. We'll start off with Eddie Kingston hit him with repeated chops right into Claudio Castagnoli. This is when Castagnoli answering back with a spinning forearm right into his face. This is where Eddie Kingston continued to chop that chest of the Swiss Cyborg. This is where he started forearming him even more and more repeatedly. This is where Claudio Castagnoli asked Eddie Kingston, "That's all you got, Eddie? This is all you got?" This is where Eddie Kingston chops him back with no words, only having his hands and his fists start doing the answering into Claudio's question. This is where Claudio forearming him even more, and he throws him out of the ring. This is where Claudio tried to get out of the ring. This is where he grabs him off the ring apron and Irish whipped him right into barricade. But he did it in a way like he's going to go for the right side, but he actually went to the left side and then hits him right to the corner. This is where he also choking him to death. This is where the fans started cheering "Yeah, Eddie," which everybody was all over Eddie, and I even predicted that Eddie's going to win. But we're going to talk about more about that towards the end of this recap. But yeah, this is where Eddie Kingston started chopping him so much to the point that he could have beaten Gunther's record of the most chops, and even Ric Flair as well, because Ric Flair is the master of the chops, the legendary number one legend into the chopping business, in the wrestling business, whatever that means. But anyways, this is where Claudio was getting hit too. To the point that it looked like he can simply get him run out of energy with taking so much chops. But I'm not sure that would have run out of energy entirely, because Claudio Castagnoli is the energy machine when it comes to him fighting into that square circle. They call him the Swiss Superman for a reason. But I would say But he was taking so much chops. I would say how you cannot feel and be fazed by that, even though you're called the Swiss Superman, or formerly known as the Swiss Superman. I don't know if that's still his nickname or not. Y'all let me know down in the comments below. But probably not, because he's on AEW and he's known as his real name, I believe, which is Claudio Castagnoli. But anyways, this is where Eddie Kingston throws him back in the ring. And then, but when he tried to throw him in the ring, this is where Claudio counters him. He clotheslined him right into the middle of the ringside, in the bottom ringside area. And that's when most fans started booing. And this is when Claudio's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be respected and gonna be double champion." This is where he was getting ready to throw him back in the ring. But before he did that, he hit him with a right knuckle hand. This is where he Irish whips him right into the ring. This is where Eddie Kingston slowly but surely gets back up. This is where Claudio try to get back in the ring. This is where Eddie Kingston slings in and slides and hits him with a dragon screw slam right to his leg. This is where Eddie Kingston kicks him right into the knee. This is where Eddie Kingston started climbing. This is where he started trying to drop kick knees him. This is where Claudio going for a gut wrench suplex, which that could have ended the Mad King into this double champion match, or champion for champion match. And this is where Claudio gets back up. He looks like he's about to head on getting his signature move, which I believe was the No, it wasn't a signature move. It was a single leg Boston Crab. That's what it was. He hits him with a single leg Boston Crab. He thought this was gonna work. Like, I was like, how's it gonna work if it's not even your finishing move? Like, no disrespect to the Ring of Honor champion. This is where they slap each other a bit. Like, when first Claudio slapped him first, talking so much smack onto him, and then this is where Claudio slaps him right back. He hits him with a German suplex. And then this is where Eddie Kingston got back in the match. He got back up. This is where Claudio Castagnoli got back up and started hanging on to the ropes. This is where Eddie Kingston started hitting him with knife edge chops and back fist, like, repeatedly. This is where he hit his version of the stop sign knockout, like, from Tyler Bate, like, but he, instead of doing it like this, like, got the hand up like a stop sign, and hit him with his other hand, he did it like this, and then he hit him with that exact same hand with the back fist, and then, but Claudio blocked it with a smack, and then which it may have stung the Mad King, because he started holding on and screaming in agony. He looked like he just touched lava. He was like, ah, and then this is where Claudio started putting them in the sleeper hole right into the mid ropes, and this is where Eddie Kingston started elbowing him so much to the point that he could have rolled out of it and hit him with the have enough time to hit him with the back fist. But before he could do anything, this is where Claudio been more quicker. He hang on to him, hit him with a back suplex right onto the stage area, hitting his back first right into the stage, into the road stage, I should say, because it represents the streets of New York City, of course. And then let's get to the more of the point. But we're gonna get back in the ring. This is where Eddie Kingston started hitting him with the chops, like with him looking like on the movie Batman vs. Superman. If for those who knows what I'm talking about, that watches the DC comic superhero movie, like where Batman started keep punching him into the wall on Batman vs. Superman, and then Superman was not being phased whatsoever. Like, this is what when Claudio started continuing to be like that, like he started not being phased by it, because every time he started chopping him like from the last like 10 times, he wasn't getting phased by it. He was like, and this when Eddie Kingston was looking confused, he was like how you're not feeling that? How you're not getting phased by that? How you're not getting feeling the agony with that? Like, how you not feeling nothing with my chops? Like, everybody feels, like even my boy John Moxley. That's what Eddie Kingston was looking like. This is where Claudio was like, so it was on Superman mode, because every time he chops him, like, nothing happens. And then this is where Claudio would scream out to him like, ah! And then this way he punched him finally into the neck or the throat, which that finally got him to show some weaknesses, like with his hits. He was like, ow, hitting him right in the throat. This is where Eddie. And then this is where who was it that said this line? Like, that's what's gonna make Larry Holmes. What he said? Is that a strike? That's what he said. The commentator said, he's like that right strike will make Larry Holmes envy him, him make or envious. Like a right strike that will make Larry Holmes envious. That's what he said. Like when he hit him with a right hand to the neck or the throat even. This is where he tried to go for a fisherman's plex. This is where Claudio was not having it. He hits him with a right hand. This is where Eddie Kingston tried to come back and try to hit him with his own strike of his own. But this is where both men was trying to catch their breath because they ran out of energy by beating the living hell out of each other like from the past 15 minutes into the match. And then this is where they started looking face to face back and like they started exchanging words, but I cannot understand where they're coming from because the fans were shouting so loud. This is where they went back hitting their signature strikes, like with Claudio with the forearms. This is where Eddie Kingston chops him right back. This is where they started doing the yay and boos to the Swiss Cyborg and the Mad King, where they're going with chops and then forearms, like boo, like yay, like boo. And then this is where Eddie Kingston started chopping like repeatedly. But Claudio that's when he started going for the European uppercut mode because he started hitting them right back at him as soon as he started chopping him. And then this is where Eddie Kingston tried to catch him. This is when Claudio's like, come on, give me your best hit. Come on, try. This is where Eddie Kingston go for a chop. The fans were like, yay. And then this is where Claudio dusted himself off like if he was still Superman or still on Superman mode even. This is where he started hitting them with the elbow strikes. Like he brought him down. He started hitting him with elbow strikes like him and John Moxley would normally do, like as the Blackpool Combat Mates. Like they do that and they even practice doing that with Willer Yuta. But I forgot. And speaking of using Willer Yuta as a punching bag, he once again started using them like that. But it seemed like that Willer Yuta just doesn't seem mind a bit, like because he kneed him so hard to the stomach, like that probably would have break the normal man's ribs by doing it. Like he must have some ribs of steel because he didn't felt not even a thing. Well, at first it seemed like he did, but he got back up like normal. Like he got way too used to getting hit like that. Like yeah, like even though it's all part of the skit and all part of the script, but I think this is a bit too much even for these three individuals, or even four, including Bryan Danielson, because he's still part of the BPCC. Yeah, but this is where Claudio goes for the straitjacket bomb. This is where he tried to go for the straitjacket bomb, but Eddie Kingston reversed it to a Hurricane Rana. He hit the most devastating move in all sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up into the Hurricane Rana position. But this is where Claudio countered him into a sit-out roll-up, but he only got the 1 and the 2, but he got a kick out. This is where Claudio hits him with a running European uppercut after that. This is where he tried to go for a pin attempt with a 1 and a 2. This is where Eddie kicks out of 2.999. And then this is where Claudio tried to go for a second attempt to successfully hit the straitjacket bomb attempt. This is where he finally does, but like, of course he's going to do it because that's all part of the wrestling rules. Like if you don't successfully if you don't successfully do a finishing move or signature move at first, you're going to most definitely get the attempt successfully the second attempt, like, or vice versa. However, yeah, like, but however, there's only got on the another 2.999, and then this is when Claudio was extra frustrated. He was like, "What to do to make this man or this a savage beast that he was thinking probably in his head, like to give up and respect me, and what I gotta do to make sure that I successfully do this in order to be double champion and earn the respect of the Mad King." And then this is where he tried to go for a third attempt. I was like, it depends. Like, it's like 2 out of 3 of either way. It's a guaranteed 2 out of 3, but I'm not sure if you could succeed with a third attempt, like with the second one or the first one being the success maybe if it was the first attempt, but I'll say maybe the third attempt after the second attempt. But this is when he successfully does it. But Eddie Kingston amazingly kicked out in a shocking manner with a 2.999999, and the fans are like, "Whoa!" Like, how did this man kick out of the third attempt of this straitjacket bomb? And then the fans started, and then was cheering for Eddie, like, Eddie, like, come on, you can do this. And then they were in shock, like, because they thought this was going to be unfortunate for those Mad King Eddie Kingston fans. Like, they thought that he was going to lose to the former Swiss Superman, but that didn't happen. Not even in the second attempt or third attempt. This is where Claudio couldn't believe in himself. This is where he tried to lift up Eddie Kingston and try to hit a move that he's usually good at, which was, I believe, was the Super European uppercut. But this is where Eddie Kingston hit him with a back fist, but surprisingly, Claudio was still up. So Claudio tried to go for another European uppercut to strike him down, but he intercepts with a back fist on his face and his arm. This is where he hits him with the single the Nelson suplex. And this is where Eddie Kingston hits him with a back fist, and this is where he finally brought him down. But he hits him with that what is it called? I forget. It's like a half a fisherman spin around superplex Majig. He hit, that was his, I believe, his second finishing move alongside the back fist, and they got him the 1 and the 2, and how could you not? Got him the 3. And now he's a double champion. And I am happy for the Mad King for winning that match. And that alone, I would give it 5 stars. Like, even though that's way too much to give him, but I'll say I'm gonna give credit where it's due with the others too. But for now, I'm giving it a 5 full star for this match alone. Like, there's gonna be plenty more where that came from with a couple more matches I have in my eyes. But we're gonna talk about that very soon. But yeah, Eddie Kingston now is a double champion. This is where they finally handshake. I guess they earn each other's respects. And then this is where he went up over the top rope and he hold up both the New Japan Strong Openweight and the Ring of Honor World Champion, this double champion, which I'm happy for him. What do you think? What do y'all guys think on you viewers and you wrestling YouTubers and internet marks thought about Eddie Kingston's double champion win? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. I thought it was really great. It was well put out, and like I said, like I may not be the huge Eddie Kingston fan, but I knew that Eddie was going to win this because there was rumors that there was been plans that Eddie Kingston is going to be the one that's going to dethrone Claudio. And I was like, what can I get what couldn't get any more perfect than do it at this event on this weekly television, on this weekly television show, on this special edition of AEW Dynamite of their Grand Slam show with Eddie Kingston. Also Eddie Kingston successfully being double champion in his home state as well. Not to mention, but I'm happy he won it in his home state, and he's now double champion, and he's gonna be you're gonna see in the foreseeable future in AEW, Ring of Honor, and even in New Japan Pro Wrestling as holding those double straps. But yeah, let's move on to the next segment. But what do you think what's next for Eddie Kingston as double champion, though, in general? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. And we're going to move on to the next. And then let's go to his backstage interview with Christian Cage he's not in the match tonight. He's Like, this is where he was in an interview with Christian Cage. This is where Renee Paquette was in an interview with Christian Cage. My bad, tongue-tied. Like, I need to start working on my better journalism skills. But anyways, this is where Christian Cage said, like you're right about one thing about me and Luchasaurus. The success is TNT champion. And he's like, and then we're gonna walk in against Sting and Darby Allin in that tag team match at AEW's Grand Slam, AEW Grand Slam, the special edition of Rampage's Grand Slam event, like, which is this Friday. And he's also gonna, and then he's also, and he's like, and you, Darby, like, I'm ready to move on because I'm bored with you. And it is obvious that you're going to move on to me until you get another chance at me at my TNT championship. And I have a proposition for you, Darby Allin. Like, after we have our match Friday, this Saturday at Collision, it'll be you against me and Luchasaurus in a three-way match for our TNT championship. I'm like, wow, this is very unusually shocking. Like I would expect him to give him one final chance of winning the TNT championship by either facing either him or facing Luchasaurus. And I'm not sure if I should use the term of beating him. I would say give him a last chance of fighting him for the TNT championship, I should say. But I would expect him to do it in a manner that is going to be either him, with him facing in a very rare match, like in a rare match, or send Luchasaurus like he would usually would done. This is more shockingly out of the ordinary. Like, with him, it would be both of them facing Darby Allin, but it's going to seem like it's going to be a two-on-one disadvantage. But this probably could be a chance that Luchasaurus could possibly turn babyface, though, at the same time. Like, whether if it's during the match, like he just chokeslam him right in the ring, and then chokes him right in the ring, and then this is when Luchasaurus pin Christian Cage for the championship. Or he could just walk out and just chokeslam and give Darby Allin the chance to beat him for the TNT title, and then there will be Christian Cage and what's his name, Luchasaurus and Christian Cage in a full gear match. Why am I forgetting who I'm talking about, which I obviously know who it is, of course, but I need to start working on that. I'm still getting started. Like, even though it's been a month, I've been doing this, now I should get somewhat better at this, but I'm still going to work on it. My apologies, by the way. But anyways, this is where, but yeah, it set up the challenge. Like, that will be how about you step in myself and Luchasaurus in a three-way match? That's what he said for TNT. But anyway, this is when I believe that either he's going to pin him and he's going to remain as champion, but only in his own terms, not in Christian Cage holding that championship hostage away from him when he's truly the champion. Or he could do it like this. He could choke him. He walks out of there. Darby Allin just give enough chance to Darby Allin to hit him with a coffin drop to regain the TNT championship, being, I believe, a 4-time champion, because I think he's already a 3-time. Or he could be a 3-time champion. He's been only a 2-time champion. But yeah, let me know about that down in the comments. And also let me know about what you think about my theory about this three-way match. What's going to be the outcome down in the comments below. What's going to be next. And stay tuned for the SNA podcast, the Collisions review part 6 at this Saturday. Like, make sure y'all check that out. But we're going to move on to the Jericho match. Here's where we got the Sammy Guevara versus Jericho match, which, as I say, Sammy Guevara, despite the finish, I believe Sammy Guevara will be a future world champion in All Elite Wrestling, especially if he stays long enough. Like the old saying goes, and that's one thing I agree with Triple H. Like saying the old saying, like saying good things happen for those who wait, which I believe this should be the case for all all the future world champions, the young future world champions in wrestling right now, whether if they're in WWE, whether if they're in AEW, or whichever wrestling promotion they're wrestling for and under contract with. But I mean, it probably won't be for long for Sammy Guevara. Give it about 2 years, and he's going to be AEW World Champion. Mark my words. But this is where we have the match. Like, but I'm going to get to the point. Like, with let's see right here. This is where he got the early advance, Sammy Guevara, though. He started hitting him with top rope moves, like, because when Jericho tried to hit a springboard clothesline, he rolls right out of the ring. This is where Sammy Guevara had the advantage. He hits him with a very. This looks like he. Let's see right here. Like, sorry about that. Like, here's where he tried to go for like for the most beautiful diving splash I ever seen in AEW. This is where Jericho runs in the ring. This is where Sammy Guevara knew this, and he flipped right onto the middle rope. He started saying, "Everybody get all the fans here, get off your feet." That's where everybody started doing so. This is where he goes up on the top rope. This is where he goes for a crossbody, which he successfully does, but like every crossbody, it's starting to, if it's not a finishing move, then it's going to be known as the least most devastating move in all sports entertainment, like the Blue Thunder Bomb. And it only got him the 2.0, or should I say 2-point even count, but Sammy Guevara was not having it. But yeah, let's get to the point, like to the what was the come after that. This is where we have Sammy Guevara going up to the top rope. This is where. But before I get to that, this is where Sammy Guevara took a page out of Jericho's playbook by hitting him with a code breaker, which it only got him a 1-2-9-9-9, and then this is where he tried to go for a top rope or go for a springboard move. Like he went for a springboard move, which I believe was a crossbody. This is where Jericho hits him with a missile drop kick. This is where. And got him with one. Referee went one, referee went two. He kicks out. This is when he goes for the walls of Jericho. At first, it looked like Sammy Guevara had nowhere else to go because he had it locked in until he eventually rolled out of that. This is where Sammy Guevara goes up on the top rope, and he hits him with a top rope flying cutter. And it looks like this could have been it, but Jericho kicked out right at the last second. Well, not at the very last, but it was at the last second at 2.8 second count. This is where Sammy Guevara was getting very frustrated. He started slamming his hand right into the canvas, like slamming and smacking. It was like I'll be dang, like, or not dang, but they were getting very very ticked off. This is where he tried to hit him with his very finishing move on his own with the GTH. This is where Jericho counters out of it. And then this is where he hits him with the walls of Jericho. That's where it was. Like I put it in the opposite spots. My apologies. This is where he tried to go for the GTH. This is where he catches his leg. The leg he tried to knee him right into the face. He trips him over. He tried to go for the walls of Jericho, which he successfully does. This is where Sammy Guevara had nowhere else to go. He started bending his back, and then this is where Sammy Guevara was like, "No, I'm not gonna tap. I'm not gonna tap." And this is where he started crawling. This is where Sammy Guevara tried to grab onto it, and he started laying down. And this is where he tried to tap. This looked like he was about to tap, but Sammy Guevara started grabbing onto his head. He started hitting him right into the head, and he switched him over. And then this is where Sammy Guevara was like, this is Sammy Guevara trying to go for the knee strike. This is where Jericho tried to hit him with a forearm. This is where Sammy Guevara was hanging on to the top rope when he was laying right into the apron. This is where Jericho tried to go up to the top rope and try to hit him with a maneuver right off the top rope, which I'm not sure what it was, but Sammy Guevara was countering it, whatever Jericho had in mind. He started hitting him with right hands. And then this is where he goes for look like a Spanish fly, but really he hit him with a sliding, swinging cutter right off the top rope. I'm like, did he really just do that? Like the Jericho right off the top rope. I think the first time I actually did it, even though it was a bit slow, but it was a bit insane. Yeah, it was slow. It was slower, but it was insane, basically, to say the least. Yeah. Like, he just insanely spin around and hit him with the cutter. Like, wow, like, he just really did put off the maneuver. But this is where he tried to go for the pin, but the referee went one. Aubrey Edwards. My bad, Aubrey Edwards. Like, you're the number one referee. I know your name. And I should know by just telling you this, by saying your name as a referee. This is where Aubrey Edwards go for a one. She goes for a two. Then how could you not? But Jericho kicks out right at 2.999999990.1 from being a 3. I was like, how did Jericho kicks out of this move? Like, out of the top rope cutter. Like, and I believe this is the signature move because this is where Sammy Guevara hits his finisher, which I believe this is a secondary finishing move, which goes up to the top rope. He goes for a moonsault, I believe. This is where Jericho caught him into the code breaker, and he got the 1, 2, 3. I'm like, wow. Like, amazingly, he just beat him. Literally, my prediction, I thought Sammy Guevara was going to win, but I guess I was wrong on one thing about that. But he did show that he had what it takes to become a main eventer by taking the inaugural AEW World Champion to the limit, and also this is where they lift him up. This is where he lift up Sammy Guevara and shake his hand. This is where they hugged it out, which I knew that was going to happen. But what I didn't know that was going to happen next, and that's when he low blows him right into the midsection, or not in the midsection, I should say right into the cojones, I should say. Like what the great one used to call the Coco Jambos. But anyways, enough about men's private stuff. But this is where he kicks him right into the cojones. This is when Jericho started like, ow, oh my God. Like, how could you, Sammy? Like, I thought we were cool. And I was like, me too. I thought, at least for now, like until they face FTR for the AEW Tag Team Championship, which that's probably like a month from now. That would be from month out, but no, like they're not gonna have tag team after tag team champ because he's gonna turn on him before Jericho has a chance to comprehend what's going to go on next, which they got him right on to Jericho what he at least expected to be, like which he kicks him right to the cojones. That's what after that Don Callis came in, he started clapping his hands like, "Way to go, Sammy! Like you finally did it." I was like, don't tell me this was his plan the whole time that he claimed that he's going to reveal at tonight's Grand Slam. Like he said, he's going to reveal one of his mastermind plans. And what was it like? And it couldn't get any more shocking than this. Like with Sammy Guevara turning on his ally and his mentor, Chris Jericho. I was like, are you serious? Like Sammy Guevara, out of anybody of the JAS, like he was the number one guy that would turn on him. Like this was the biggest shock of them all, like basically to say the least. Like, but yeah, I believe that he's joining the Don Callis family, at least for now. That's what we're believing. But what do you think about this? And there's going to be more about this. And there's more about this when they step backstage when Renee Paquette tried to get in an interview with him. But this is where they show not MJF. I'm getting Roderick Strong and MJF mixed up right now. I mean, Roderick Strong in the hospital bed, which I believe, like MJF said, like he's faking in some ways, like faking someone just to get some sympathy onto Adam Cole, so he can start hanging out with him more than he ever will with MJF. And then this is where Adam Cole came in. This is where This is where the Kingdom's Matt Taven and what's his name, Mike Bennett was like, "What are you doing here?" And then he was like, "I'm just here to say I'm just here to see my friend and wish him better." Like, and then this is when the doctors start saying the doctor's saying like was telling them like their visiting hours are over, and then they give Adam Cole a chance. And this is where Adam Cole wishes that saying like he wants to talk to him, and he wants to he'd like to talk to him, like, and then I'm not sure if it looked like he was awake or not. Like, let's see right here. Let's see right here. But yeah, this is where Adam Cole, I'm not sure what he said, but he was basically wishing him better. That's what I would say. That's the best way to describe. This is where, but yeah, this is where we go over to when MJF going on the microphone after he was walking out of his Porsche, his lime green Porsche, which I wish I have one right now, but that's probably in the future when I become very big, when I become famous, yeah, very popular with the Super Ninja Austin. With me being Super Ninja Austin, I believe this was gonna probably help me become very successful and very of the R word, and no, not the R. Not like R-rated, but like, like very wealthy to the point that I can afford a Porsche of my own, yeah, and be just like the current AEW World Champion. But anyway, this is where MJF went in the front of the screen. This is where he starts saying, "Hey, you can take that champ, and I'm gonna take that." He was like, "I'm gonna hit my championship," and he threatened him. He's gonna bash his championship within this skull for shoving him from those last two times that he when he encountered him. Yeah, of course. And then this is when MJF also said, "You took and try to take away two things now, the precious things away from me. You try to take my AEW World Championship, and you are going to try to hurt my brother Adam Cole." And you see, that's where you messed up, Joe, right there. And then he also said, "Tonight, I'm going to choke you out like I promised you, like I did last week, but over thousands of fans in New York, my home, my people." And then the last thing you're going to hear is your eye being black, getting is MJF. And then MJF. And he started repeatedly saying the chants. This is where he also, yeah, because he said, "Because we're better than you." And then before Adam Cole could say his catchphrase, "Baby," of course, this is where he had a phone call with Roderick Strong. This is where he's like, "Hello," like, and he's like, "Hey, calm down, Roddy." Like, and he's like, "It's Roddy." And this is when it's Roddy. And this is when MJF's like, "Seriously? Like you're really having a phone call with him right now in front of this video, right? In front of the camera right now." And he's like, "Yeah, Max is in the hospital right now. It's an emergency." Then Roddy, just calm down. Like, Roddy, you're not gonna die, dude. Like it's all just a very bad neck injury. That doesn't mean it's gonna cost you your life. And then this is where he walked out of the camera. This is where he's like, "Your ass is mine, Joe." That's what he said, like, before it cut off into commercial break. This is where we move on to to the backstage interview with Don Callis and Sammy Guevara with Renee Paquette start asking questions. Why did that happen out there, and why did he stab Jericho in the back, his mentor Jericho right in the back, and joined Don Callis. And y'all been friends for the past 4 years through thick and thin, and this is how you repay him, and this is how you're gonna try to get over from right over from him, like, or try to get a number over from him, yeah. And this is when Don Callis interrupted, saying, "Well, it will be revealed this Friday on Rampage." I'm like, really? Like I thought this was already revealed right here. Like, I guess we're gonna have to wait until Rampage. And what do you think what's gonna be revealed at this Friday's 2-hour Grand Slam special of Rampage? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. I would like to hear y'all's opinions, and plus, I can hardly wait with that reveal of his about what's next for the Don Callis family is. And I bet it probably has something to do with Daniel Garcia, because this is where Daniel Garcia came in, and this he went face to face right into Guevara's face. This is when Sam Guevara's like, "What, you have a problem with me next too?" Like, and then this is when Don Callis like, "Whoa, wait. Like, this kid's money right here. This kid's money right here. Just walk away. Like, this kid's money. Like, he does not know any better right now. Like, we're gonna, like, trust me. Like, he's money. Like, he's gonna make the Don Callis family even more make the Don Callis even more rich. Like, yeah, or whatever. Yeah, whatever. Like, but what do you think about, like, but him possibly being the next? What do you think about Daniel Garcia being the next member of the Don Callis family, or do you think that he's gonna stick with Jericho's side and be all part of Team Jericho into this Team Callis versus Jericho feud? I'll like y'all hear y'all's opinions down in the comments. I'm not sure. I'll probably will have a theory and a prediction this Friday on the SNA podcast on this Friday's episode of the SNA podcast, the AEW Rampage review. But y'all make sure to stay tuned if you want to hear my opinion this Friday. Yeah, stay tuned for until then, like, to hear exactly what I think about what's gonna happen next. Like, after I watch the AEW Rampage, the latest episode, of course, is Friday. But we're gonna move on to the next match, which is Rey Fenix taking on the current AEW International Championship. What I at least expected, that it just happened, and I thought that there's going to be into the expectations. I'd say it reached the high up, but not in expectations. Like, it was beyond that, obviously, but like with the matches and the results, like, you're just gonna have to listen what I have to say to hear what I mean by that. And it's by when he hit him with a moonsault. This is where Rey Fenix hit him with a moonsault right on the outside when they all started, like with an in-ring brawl. Well, not a moonsault. He hit him with a diving senton right off the stage, right on the ringside when they took the brawling onto the ring stage area and the ringside area. And this is where both men were down. This is where Rey Fenix tried to pick up the AEW International Champion. He started hitting him with a right knuckle punch right into the midsection. This is where he Irish whips Moxley right inside the ring. This is where they finally started the match. This is where Jon Moxley got back up, and then this is where Rey Fenix did the smartest move ever, because when Jon Moxley tried to stomp him right on his head or on his back, he slid back out, and then Jon Moxley tried to reach for him, like going to the middle rope. This is where he goes up, grabs on his arm, he lifts him back up, he rams him right in the shoulder, right into the midsection. This is where he hits him with a springboard, some sunset flip. And then this is where it goes for referee went 1, referee went 2. This is where Jon Moxley counters and hits him with this version with the most devastating move in all sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up. This is where Jon Moxley stepped back while Ray Phoenix kips up, and then he's like, come here, come my way. And this is where he nearly arm tracks him, but Jon Moxley dodges him. He hits him with a springboard, try to hit him with a springboard kick, but he counters him with a punch right to the gut when he tried to hit him with a springboard a Pele kick. But this is where Ray Phoenix counters his move, and he hits him with an top rope arm drag and swings him over. This is where Ray Phoenix hits him with try to hit him with a rolling with this rolling cutter, which is the most complicated move in all sports entertainment. Even if I try to do a rolling cut, I couldn't do it uniquely perfect like Ray Phoenix done it like multiple times. But this time, Jon Moxley hits him with a right hand, and then this is where Moxley tried to. This is where Jon Moxley started going for his head, and he started hitting him with right hands, started hitting him repeatedly. Like if this was Roman Reigns hitting him, this was probably easily would have gotten him the win. But he lifted up his arm. This is where he tried to hit him with a Kimura lock. This is where he tried to grab my arm. This is where he tried Ray Phoenix biting his hand. This is where he pushed his face off. This is where Ray Phoenix kicks him in the midsection. He hits him with a knife edge chop. He started hitting him with right hands and knife edge chops. This is where Jon Moxley hits him with another poke in the eyes. And let me tell you, this is not gonna be the only time that eye poking maneuvers is gonna be. It's not gonna be the only match that we're gonna see some eye poking spots into the wrestling match. Y'all gonna have to watch until the end to figure out exactly why I just said that. But anyway, this is where Jon Moxley tried to Irish whip him, throw him right to the outside and the ringside. This is where Ray Phoenix slides out and slides back in and hits him with a roundhouse kick. But this is where Jon Moxley kicks him right to the face. This is where Jon Moxley was trying to get back together. This is where Ray Phoenix try to go into the ringside area, like nearly to the audience. When I'm not sure why we need to do that. This is where Jon Moxley hits him with a knife edge chop. And then Birdie Bird. Yeah, Birdie Bird. Need anything? The remote?
Yeah.
Where did you place it at? Excuse me for a minute. You want something else? You want it? Okay, here you go. This one? Okay, you want that? Okay. But anyways. But anyways, back to the recap of the Grand Slam special edition of Dynamite. This is where he tried to go for a suplex right off the other side of the barricade, but this is where Ray Phoenix started countering, hitting him into the midsection. This is where he started hitting him with forearms as well. This is where he shoves him right into the face. This is where he go for some kind of springboard position because he started running around the barricade, but Jon Moxley shoves him face first right into barricade. And then this is when Jon Moxley drapes him right into the corner and hits him with the draping what's it called? Paradigm shift. The draping paradigm shift that will probably make Randy Orton envious. With his spike DDT, draping spike DDT, is where right before he dropped him right into the concrete floor. This is where he put out the fingers. Hopefully, I don't get restricted by showing that on my video. This is where This is where Jon Moxley throws him back in the ring. This is where Jon Moxley starts yelling like, "Come on, that's all you got," and then start slapping him even harder. This is where he started hitting him with right hands, like they hit him with right hands. And then this is when Ray Phoenix started do as much as blocking, but his luck as he continued starting to run was running out, because every time he started hitting him, he started nailing him right into the face. And then this is when he hit him with a clothesline right into the corner turnbuckle. This is where he started flipping the bird off to the fans. This is where he tried to hit him with a clothesline. This is where Ray Phoenix hit him with a step-up Insta-Giri. And then this is where he continued hitting Insta-Giris repeatedly. This is where Ray Phoenix hit him with a spinning roundhouse kick. This is where Ray Phoenix finally came back into the match and hit the most complicated move in all sports entertainment, the rolling cutter, which I'm not sure if I would even pull off that move, even if I practiced like 100,000 times. But he hits him with a cutter. He thought that was going to be it, because I believe that's a signature move, but it only got him to 1. It got him to 2, but it got him to 2.9 second count. This is where he rolled up right up to the top rope. This is where he goes for the frog splash. This is where it only got him to 2.9 count. This is where Ray Phoenix gets back up. This was like he started going for the death triangle, the hand signature. This is where he tried to go for a run right to the wall. This is where Jon Moxley hits him with a lariat that was very brutalizing, to the point that it made Ray Phoenix do a 360. And then this is when Jon Moxley was back in the game. He was like, ah! And then this is when Moxley tried to go for his move, which I believe he was trying to go for the paradigm shift. No, he tried to go for the clothesline, but this is when Ray Phoenix hit him with a super kick. This is where Ray Phoenix tried to roll out of it. This is when Jon Moxley rolled out of it. This is where Ray Phoenix rolled back in the ring foam. This is where he put him right on to put his midsection in between into the inner and the outer of the audience. Put Jon Moxley in the inner and out with the halfway, look like you about to do the roundhouse kick right off the top part of the barricade, like RVD would done. Speaking of RVD, he's announced that he's gonna make a return and make an appearance in his home state of Michigan, which they're gonna be in Grand Rapids, I believe. Which that's his home state of Michigan, RVD. Make sure y'all check out this Saturday's Collision, and make sure y'all stay tuned for me doing my SNA podcast. But anyways, this is where Ray Phoenix came. This is where Ray Phoenix do a similar move right off the top rope, but instead of doing a roundhouse kick, this is where he goes up on the top rope and hits I believe was a crossbody, or no, not crossbody. It was let's see right here.
Move, Trey. Don't take care of me.
Let's see right here. That's what he did. He had a moonsault, gigantic, most dangerous moonsault that even when, like, not even Shaw Flair would possibly have done, or even name someone else with moonsault that does moves like that. Like guys like, I'll say Kurt Angle or Chad Gable or even Evan Bourne, or now known as Matt Sydal, or name any high-flying wrestlers that hit moves that are dangerously high up in the air, or even Shane McMahon, or even Jeff Hardy. Like, he had a move that not even Jeff Hardy would have done, like, which was that moonsault right onto him, right on the outsider of the ring, right into the back of the head. And they both were in the ground, but they eventually got back in the ring, getting back up. But this is where they went on the outside of the ring with not Seth Rollins, because he hit the curb stomp right onto the edge of the ramp where near the hardest part of the ring apron was at. He hit a most devastating curb stomp I ever seen, even over Seth Rollins when he hit a curb stomp on his opponents on Monday Night Raw on the hardest part of the ring apron. because he did it on Ray Phoenix. He sold it like a king because he flipped right over right after he got hit with the move. Yeah, he hit like with a 450 or damn near a 450 hit with the curb stomp. And this is where Jon Moxley try to go hit the sit out pile driver after that. He thought that would possibly be it because he knocked out like a fair share of opponents with this move. This is where when he went for a pin. This is where referee went for a 1. He went for a 2, but this is where he kicks out like whoa, like I was like maybe I would expect that, but that was only if that I thought that Jon Moxley was gonna beat him with the paradigm shift or the Death Rider, but man, I guess I was wrong about that too, because after that we have Jon Moxley going for the Death Rider. Let's see, like if I can remember this naturally. Let's see. This is where he grabbed him on the head. This is where he hits him with a knife edge shot. This is where he started repeatedly doing that. And I was like, oh yeah, that's what he did. He did a Death Rider. This is where he went up on the top rope to do. Because he went up right off to the top rope. This is where Ray Phoenix at first was trying to punch his way out of the move, but he knocks him down. This is where he hits him with a double dip a swanton bomb. This is where Ray Phoenix goes up right onto the fireman's carry into the Phoenix pile driver. This is where the referee went 1, the referee went 2. And then this is where Jon Moxley came at the last second and lifted up his shoulder an inch up. And then this is where he tried to go for the Lucha driver, or I forget the name of it. I'm not trying to sound very ignorant, but he hits him with this Phantom Driver-like move. He slams him right into the canvas. And then he had him drop right on the ground head first. And this is when Ray Phoenix finally got him with the 1, 2, and 3. And that's right. We had a new champion on tonight's Dynamite. I was like, this is very unusual. Like, we have a new champion. Like, I would expect that all the champions would retain, but we have a new champion. And then it's Ray Phoenix. Yeah, we have a new AEW International Champion. It's Ray Phoenix. And I believe maybe it's a good move in a way because he would represent Mexico into this heritage championship, like with the international championship representing all the countries around the world. It's like AEW's version of the Intercontinental Championship in WWE. Like with WWE's Intercontinental Championship represent all the countries in the in the world. Yeah. Like that includes the United States, that includes Mexico, that includes Canada, England, Ireland, and other European countries, and Asia, and Africa, and all over, basically all the countries around the world, It represents all the nations, the continents, the countries, you name it. Like, basically to say, and I'll say I'm happy for him, but I'm shocked at the same time. Like, I thought this was gonna be Jon Moxley's match, and this is like a typical successful title defense. Like, but I guess I was wrong about that because we have a new champion, and his name is Ray Phoenix. And what y'all think was next for Ray Phoenix is the new AEW International Champion? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear that from you guys. What do you think about what's next for the AEW International Championship and the one half of the Lucha Bros? But let's move on. We're going to move on to the next segment. We have this is where Samoa Joe cuts a promo backstage. Like, he was like, let's see what he said. Like, he says, this is where he shouts out his name. That's what he said. He's like, Max. Hey, welcome, Max. Like, the night is upon us, and it's a celebration, and it's not a consequences. And Max, and you keep running your mouth, and then you think you put an X on me, and you don't think you're but and you have a what he says he said you have a he said tonight's a night about consequences, and Max, you keep running your mouth all you want. You make your ex know that you made a total about I harbored your career for the past 8 years, which is a reference to his time in NXT, or both of their times in NXT when MJF was a no-name security guard, while Samoa Joe was the NXT championship at the time. In his first reign, I believe, his first reign as NXT champion at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, when I believe that's when he had that match against Shinsuke Nakamura, I believe, But this is where they're leading to that story, where Samoa Joe pushed him on to the side against the brick wall, and then he holds the grievance to that since then, from the past 8 years. I was like, wow, I cannot believe 2016 was 8 years ago. But anyways, this is where Samoa Joe also said, we'll be prepared a little bit longer on that because I'm gonna smash you from in front of your whole town from your people, like you claim they are, and I'm gonna beat you into what he said. No, sorry, I smashed the. That's right. He's in front of your people, and I'm gonna beat you unmercifully, And then tonight, Max, I finished taking. Now I'm gonna take you for. I'm gonna take something that's away from what's been taking you for all those years ago, and except this time won't be your future, it will be your championship. Which is a reference that, he took away his shot at being in WWE, and then now he's gonna take away his championship in AEW, and it's gonna make it. It's gonna be even worse than what he did 8 years ago when he was a security guard in WWE. But what do you think was going to happen on this match? And what for those who haven't watched the match yet in the main event, y'all let me know down in the comments below. And then we're going to move on to this. We got some hype videos with the Hardy Brothers and the Kingdom and the Righteous and the Best Friends that they're going to face each other in a fatal four-way match at this Friday's 2-hour special event at AEW Rampage that they're gonna face two and the other two the other six that they're gonna face them in a 4-way tag match for a number one contender spot for MJF and Adam Cole's AEW tag team, not AEW, their Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships at a week from the Sunday's AEW Wrestle Dreams event. And who you think is going to win at this Friday's event and become number one contender to face MJF and Adam Cole at Wrestle Dreams? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. And then this is where we move on. This is where we move on to this the AEW Women's World Championship match. And then when it started, this is where Saraya was telling Tony Storm, what is up to you? I'm not buying for what you're saying. When she started denying Saraya's claims, I was like, one thing I would believe Tony Storm, that she didn't really mean to attack her mom. It was all just a freak accident. Freak accident. And it was an unfortunate and inconvenient place at the most inconvenient, darnest time into the match in Wembley Stadium. But the only thing I'm not buying that she has any grudges against the current AEW Women's World Champion is that she don't believe her, and then she kicked her, and she simply kicked her out of the group. But you got to admit that she's gone loopy loop ever since then. Like I've been saying from the last week or two, of course. This is when she started pushing her around, start hitting her and smacking her, shoving her face. This is when she finally snapped, looking like a very I'll say a very special child that's being pushed around by a bully. But she turned into some kind of a special child that that would get pushed around from a bully that keep picking on him or her, like, and then that's when she started snapping. She started going at and attacking Saraya into this women's world championship match. This is where, let's see right here what exactly what happened specifically, because that's the main thing. But this is when, this is where she attacks her and hits her, smacks her back at her. This is where Saraya had her in the middle rope. She had her face and throw first right into the middle rope. This is where she started kneeing her and started kicking her. And this is when the referee started doing this 5-second warning DQ, or 5-second DQ warning count. He's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is when Saraya was looking like, this is my house now, my championship. This is when Toni Storm trips her over and slams her back first right into the hardest part of the ring, which is known as the ring apron. This is where Toni Storm try to Irish whip her right into the ring, back in the ring. This is where she started rolling under the ring, which I was starting to wondering, like the fans that are live attendants were wondering, like, why is she rolling under the ring? Like, does she realize this is not a no DQ contest or any kind of no disqualification stipulated matches? This is where she pulls her legs back up. This is where Ruby Soho tried to grab onto her legs. This is where Toni Storm grabbed on a couple of shoes, a couple of house shoes, which probably came from her house that when she had her interview with that guy in that robe at Collision. This is where she started hitting her face first with. This is where she started hitting her face first with the shoe, and then this is when hit her with the shoe. Right after she kicked her right into the midsection. She started hitting her with the shoe repeatedly. Started hitting her to death with the shoe. Like, and this is when Ruby Soho was like, "Please have mercy, no, stop it." And then this is when Toni Storm was like, yeah, you stay out of this match. Like, this don't concern you whatsoever. And then this is where she tried to hit her with the shoes. This is where the referee started warning her. She was like, no. He was like, no. But this is when he grabbed. I believe this is when Toni Storm knew that. She knew that the referee's gonna stop her from using those shoes. So she came out. She came in handy. When I was like, why does she have high heels on the back of her tights? And I was like, oh, I see why. She grabs them out. She whacks Saraya face right in her right into her forehead, face first. It went her high heel shoe with the heel, and then she tossed it right onto the audience. She tried to go for a pin, but she only got a 2.999 count. This is when Toni Storm thought. This is when Toni Storm was very upset at the referee's like, count fast enough. I'm like, wow. Like, first she was just in denial of hating Saraya 1 minute, and the next she's starting to hate Saraya now, and she started beating the living daylights out of her. And then when she doesn't win, she started yelling at the referee. Like, I guess I'm right about one thing about being the Swedish opera singer in denial, because she acts like she's like some Swedish opera singer, and she's denying the fact that she ate Saraya 1 minute, and then but now when she was in that ring, she looked like she'd been hating her for the last year, and she wants to get some kind of revenge on her, and she thought this would be the best perfect place to do it, which would be next to being at Wembley Stadium. But at that time, she was still friends with her. But even though she accidentally hit Saraya's mom, like, that's when it all started with her, with them having some kind of hatred on one another. Well, at least on Saraya's side, with her going crazy since then. Because about her for the fact that Saraya did not believe Toni Storm that she accidentally hit her mother at her home country in London. But yeah, or not London. I mean, in her home country in England, of course. Yeah. Now, anyways, this is where is where we're gonna move on, get to the point of the reason why we're talking about this here on to the. But this is where she this is where Toni Storm try to expose the bottom turnbuckle. I thought, oh, I see what she's doing. Like she's trying to catch Saraya into the bottom part of the exposed turnbuckle pad, and then so she can or pad, not pad, the exposed turnbuckle in the bottom corner. This is where she I was like, she's probably gonna sandwich her by hitting her with a running hip attack. And then this is where, sandwich her and try to injure her, that neck or head. But at first, this is where she grabs onto that Outcast spray paint. This is where she tried to use it on Saraya's eyes. Because Ruby Soho, when she tried to, because she tried to grab it out of her hand, she sprayed it in her eyes. This is where she tried to do it to the same with Saraya. That's what happened. She sprayed it in Ruby Soho's eyes. This is where she tried to do it the same with Saraya. This is where the referee catches her. He grabs it out of her hands. This is where this distracted Toni Storm. This is where Saraya hits her with the former PTO finishing move. This is when referee counted to 1. You grab the 2. This is where the 2.9. But oh yeah, I forgot. While she hit her with the PTO, she sprayed her with the the spray paint. Yeah, when the referee was too distracted with Ruby Soho. No, wait, no, that was at the end. But anyway, yeah, this is where she tried to hit her with the hip attack. That's what happened. She tried to hit her with the hip attack. She messed up. She hits her leg. This is where. No, wait, I'm right. Yeah, she sprayed her with it. She hit her with her DDT move, Majig. This is where she gets the 1-2 and the 2.999, and this is where Saraya was wondering how that did not put her away. And then this is where she tried to hit her face first, right into the bottom exposed turnbuckle. This is where Toni Storm started pulling back. This is where Saraya tried to kick her right into the stomach area. This is where she picks up her her leg, wrong limb. But anyways, he grabs onto her legs. This is where she puts it down, nice and neat. Something that Brock Lesnar would have done, to show his professionalism. This is where Toni Storm did something out of character, and way low. That even it was way out of character even for her to do. She grabs Saraya's face and she kissed it and right in mouth to mouth that distracted her. And after that she hits her with the most devastating move in all sports entertainment. No, not the most devastating move. She hits her with the Storm Zero pile driver. That's what she did. Storm Zero pile. I was like, wow, I thought she would never. I never thought that Toni Storm would ever do this, ever. I was like, wow, this is very unusual and out of character. Even for Toni Storm, even though she's being all mentally crazy, with the Swedish accent gimmick, and all, and being in denial that she has any hatred with Saraya and Ruby Soho. But I would never thought she would plan on doing this to Saraya, in order to distract her, to hit her with her finishing move, the Storm Zero for the 1-2-3. But it didn't even give her the 3. It only gave her the 2.9 count, which Toni Storm was in very shock that did not work. And she started going crazy and going nuts than usual. And that's when she dragged her right into that corner with the exposed turnbuckle. into the bottom with the bottom turnbuckle being exposed. This is where she tried to go for the running hip attack. This is where Saraya moves out of the way right at the last second. I believe she messed up her upper thigh or lower butt cheek. Were hitting. She hit her like her backside or her thigh right into the exposed turnbuckle when she tried to hit her right into the exposed turnbuckle pad. This is where Saraya had the opportunity to finally hit her finishing move for the 1, 2, 3 and retain her AEW Women's World Championship. But anyways, yeah. And I was waiting for a minute. This is when they started stalling and waiting for looking like somebody was about to return, like a certain wrestler that's in a wrestling promotion that's partnering that's in another promotion that AEW is partnering that's gonna make their debut and make their presence known. And I was thinking of 2 reasons why that they were gonna do this, but I would say 2 reasons why, but I would say it looks like even if they were planning on having Saraya face somebody from another in an inner crossover promotional match at Wrestle Dreams, it's probably gonna have to wait until like in the next week or 2, or even at Wrestle Dreams itself with a mystery opponent of Saraya defending her AEW Women's World Championship. And what do you think who I'm referring to? About my prediction on who could possibly be who I'm describing, who Saraya is possibly going to face into Wrestle Dreams next, defending her AEW Women's World Championship. Y'all let me know down in the comments below. But anyways, they look like they were teasing that someone's going to possibly come out, but they were in the ring. They were starting trash talk on Toni Storm before walking out of there. I was like, really? Like, no one's not going to come out there to confront Saraya and ask for a title match at AEW's Wrestle Dreams? Maybe they're not clear enough yet. They're not clear enough to compete yet, probably. Maybe not. Like, if they're not probably clear enough to compete on their promotional, their respective promotional wrestling promotion that they're working for, then they're probably not going to be They're probably not going to be ready enough to face Saraya for her women's championship. But we're going to see probably in the foreseeable future in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, y'all let me know what's going to be the ordeal of the status in the women's division in AEW's upcoming pay-per-view Wrestle Dreams. Y'all let me know all about that down in the comments below. We're going to move on to the next segment, but we're seeing some hype videos with the best friends, or not best friends, more like the duo of Orange Cassidy and Hook and Chris Statlander taking on the team of Angelo Parker and Matt Menard and Anna Jay, which is going to be a 6-person mixed tag match. If I'm not mistaken, and I'm not really much good of remembering of recapping with wrestling shows, but I could have sworn that Orange Cassidy and Hook said that they want to have a tag match, and they're going to find out AEW Grand Slam at this Wednesday's Dynamite. Whatever happened to that? Of finding a tag team to face against, with them being available on tonight's AEW Dynamite on their Grand Slam edition. Yeah, but none of that happened. Maybe because due to time and they didn't have enough due to time issues, and they couldn't pitch in a 5th match into the show because they have 4 big matches, 3 out of the 4 being championship matches. But yeah. But this is when they show that they're gonna be at the Grand Slam. They're gonna be in the Grand Slam edition of AEW Rampage. Please be careful with this. But But anyways, this is where they start showing all the upcoming matches. We got the Fatal 4-Way match with the Hardy Boys and Matt and the Righteous and the Best Friends and the Kingdom, which my prediction's on the Kingdom, by the way. That whoever wins is gonna face Adam Cole and MJF at Wrestle Dreams for the not AEW. I'm keep getting the AEW Tag Team and the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship mixed up. The Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship. The only AEW championship that MJF is the AEW World Champion. But anyway, we're gonna get to that. In just a sec. But I'm gonna talk about all the advertisements with them advertising their upcoming shows, which is Rampage and Collision. Rampage this Friday and Saturday. Make sure y'all check that out for those who's watching, and for both of those who's watching and not watching, make sure y'all check out my SNA podcast like afterwards. Which is the AEW Rampage review, Rampage and Collision review part 6, and they showed Mike Santana. They said yes, and they said his full real name, Mike Santana. He's gonna be in action. And he was supposed to have a promo package with him this past Saturday at Collision, but for some reason they cut that short. Excuse me, Trey. Anyway, they also advertised the Trios Championship with the Dark Order. With the Dark Order taking on the champs, The Acclaim and Daddy Ass for their AEW World Trios Championship. This is where we have Sky Blue taking on Julia Hart. And then this is where they show the three-way match for the TNT Championship with Luchasaurus, Christian Cage, and Darby Allin for the Trios Championship. This is where we have Andrade El Idolo taking on Jay White. This is where we have the Workhorsemen taking on FTR for their AEW Tag Team Championships. This is where we have Bryan Danielson and Ricky Starks taking on the absolute Ricky Starks in a Texas Death Match. And then a week from the night, we have a contract signing segment with Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland for their match at AEW Wrestle Dreams. And then this is where we finally they show the AEW Championship match with Samoa Joe and MJF, which I'm gonna talk about where they get to the point where with Samoa Joe getting the first offense into the Salt of the Earth and current AEW World Champion by beating him up and Irish whip mark to the corner. This is where he started mocking him, saying, "I'm better than you," and then he said, "Suck it," and he did the cross chop. And then this is when Samoa Joe came in and he put him right into the middle of the rope. This is where he started twisting his neck, doing the neck twisting headlock. This is when MJF started elbowing Samoa Joe. This is where Samoa Joe slams MJF right onto the canvas. And then this is when everybody started booing. Like, I was like, yeah, because regardless, they're gonna be cheering it for MJF because they're in his own state of New York. This is where he tried to boot him right to the MJF's face. This is where MJF tried to boot him, but he caught him, but he pokes him in the eye. And remember, like I said, into the John Moxley, not John Moxley, it was it was John Moxley versus what's his name, Ray Phoenix, I believe. Remember that match? I would say, yeah, this was pretty much that. It was pretty much like that, yeah. But yeah, I would say he poked him in the eye, and then he started putting him in the sleeper hold. This is where he hits him right into the side of the. He hit him right into the side. He hits him booting him right into the face first. This is where he puts him in a pinfall. This is where he kicks out at 2.99. This is where Samoa Joe. Here's where Samoa Joe walked up, right on, marching around right into the ring. This is where he started toying with the New York fans and MJF fans. Like, And then this is when he took him on the outside. This is where. And then this is when he tried to hit him with a Uranagi, I believe, right onto the wedge table. I was like, OMG, like he really hit. But no, before that, before he done that, he knee him right into the he knee him like in the front of his body first, right into the hardest part of this, into the ropes, which is the ropes, as he started strangling and choking him with the ropes, with him kneeing his back, and then right on his front of his body right onto the ropes. This is where he snap mirrors him, and he went back to twisting his neck twisting his neck right onto the right inside the ring. This is where MJF started getting pumped up, and he started grabbing onto him. This is where he hit him with an elbow. This is where he started elbowing him. This is where MJF tried to go for a running attack move. This is where Samoa Joe hits him with a running elbow right to the face. This is where he tries to go for a pin. This only got him a 2.5 second count. This is where Samoa Joe's like, wow, this kid. Like, I gotta admit, this kid is not giving up. Like, I'm hitting plenty of moves that I would hit an average wrestler with, and I would hit an average wrestler and beat them with these moves normally. Like, but this kid, like I gotta admit that he does have what it takes to be into this card, on the show tonight. And then this is where MJF started trying to hit right hands and right forearms and elbows right into Samoa Joe's face. This wasn't even face Samoa Joe, because he picks him up round to the top rope. This is where he tried to lift him up, try to do a Samoan muscle buster. This is where MJF hits a sunset flip, hits one of the most devastating move in all sports entertainment, the sunset flip roll up, but it only got him the 2.77777 count. This is where MJF tried to go for a super kick. This is where he hits him with it. This is where he tried to go for a clothesline. He started running him into his arm, tried to go for a repeated clothesline. This is where he looks at the camera. He looks very extra fired up. He looks extra fired up, like, He looked like he was about to say single clothesline, because he obviously can't say double clothesline, because Adam Cole's not there to help him do the double clothesline, because this is only a one-on-one competition right now for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. So he looks right in the eyes. He's like looking like he was about to say single clothesline. He tried to knock the Samoan submission machine right off his feet, but still it still couldn't bring him down. And then this is where MJF hold on to his shoulders, and he starts shaking like I gotta do it again. And then he goes for a clothesline, but this is where Samoa Joe intercepts and hits him with a clothesline from hell that nobody was at least expecting. This is where he tried to go for a pin, but he only got him with 1, 2, and I believe it was a 2.2 second count. No, it was a 2.8 count. Yeah, he was gonna kick out like regardless, either way. It really don't make much of a difference. This is where Samoa Joe started ripping off his shirt. This is where he started wiping off his groin area, and he started blowing his nose right onto MJF's custom-made New York Mets shirt that he was wearing for the occasion, of course. This is where he throws it right into his face right after he blows his nose and wipe himself with it. This pissed off MJF even more, like saying like you just really you just really disrespect me and us New Yorkers here, like. And this is what MJF said, like, I'll make sure you're going to pay for that. And this is what Samoa Joe said, but whatever, like, what are you going to do about it, little punk? He started pushing him right to his face. This is where he started forearming him. This is where MJF was getting extra pumped up. When every time he hits him right in his face, this is where MJF started hitting him with forearms himself. And this is when Samoa Joe throws him right to the corner. This is where he tried to go for a forearm, but he landed face first right into Tina the Turnbuckle. This is where MJF grabs him by his leg, and then he put it right back down. This is where he hits him face first repeatedly 10 times in a row, like what a wrestler would usually do if they were hitting their opponents right into the top rope of the right top rope of the top rope Tina the turnbuckle pad. This is where he goes up right on top of him, hitting him with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 punches, coming back into this match into a huge comeback. This is where MJF let's see right here. This is when Tony Schiavone's starting to sound like Michael Cole when he always announced when Batista does a Batista bomb, like, oh my God, what a Batista bomb. That's what he said when MJF hit the kangaroo kick. Like, oh my God, what a kangaroo kick. And he kicked Samoa Joe right on the outside with the double feet right into the midsection of the Samoan submission machine. And then that's when MJF started being like Batista started running onto the ropes, which I believe some wrestling internet guys, they're gonna start talking about this, like saying like that was like some kind of a tribute to the animal Batista from the Salt of the Earth. Like he may be the world's douchebag, but he's the number one fan of the animal, I suppose. I believe Slap Rock Wrestling is probably gonna say that between the lines of that. This is where MJF started smacking his hand right into the canvas, into the ring. This is where he trying to go out in the ring. This is where Samoa Joe catches him, picks him up on the shoulders, and slams him with the Death Valley driver right onto the hardest part of the ring apron. And even my brother was like, damn, like you can't call that fake. Like, that is not fake. Like, and I was like, agree. Like, that's the hardest part of the ring. And I pointed him out, and he was like, yeah, like, for real. Like, yeah, like, that's the hardest part of the ring apron. Like, it's maybe they may have planted that spot, but that still got to hurt regardless. Yeah, like because sometimes they plant stuff and sometimes they don't, so it's very confusing what could be anything in professional wrestling. But he hits him with the Death Valley driver right to the ring apron, and this was Samoa Joe. Started laughing at MJF because he was comatose after taking a bump. Like, and he throws him right into the ring. This is where he tried to go for the pin. This is where the referee hit one. The referee count to two, and then at the last second, right before the referee can count to three, this is where MJF kicks out right at the last second. I was like, wow, like he just literally kicked out of that. Like, if this was any other probably other situation, like this, I would believe that Samoa Joe would have been AEW World Champion, but the Salt of the Earth managed to not let him win this match. Like, after taking such a sick, dangerous bump like that, like, which I believe that was the most, this was the most terrifyingly harsh move that you could possibly would have seen into tonight's AEW Grand Slam Dynamite. But anyway, this is where Samoa Joe took him on the outside. This is where he hits him with a Uranagi. He slams him right in there. I was like, how in the hell did he took such a bump like that? This is where Samoa Joe takes him back in the ring, try to pin him once again for a 1, 2. Oh, how did he kicks out of that? Oh, your grocery basket's in the bed in Dada's bedroom. Yeah. No, I have rainbow. Yeah, it's in there. You just gotta find it right in the bedroom. Like, but it's not hard to find. You just go directly right towards it. Yeah. Yes. Yes, sir. You don't see it? Oh, it's in the living room? I think it's in the living room. I must be mistaken. Uncle SNA must be mistaken. It's probably in the living room. But anyways, this is Samoa Joe try to go for like I said, go for a pin. This is where it was a 2.99999, 1 point away from being 3. This is where he exposes the little cushion parts of the concrete floor. He takes that out, and there was exposed concrete. And this was Samoa Joe was been some kind of a psychotic killer for doing this because he puts him in a pile driving position and he landed his head bouncing right off the exposed concrete. I was like, are you serious? Yeah, like that. I was like, wow, like, did that really happen? Like, did he just he hit him with a pile driver? Like did he just like he just really did, like he's like boom, and he just like wow, like that's when the paramedics came out. See if MJF was still clear enough to can he still can finish off the match or not? Like which it looks like he was because he still was moving, like despite taking that over extreme dangerous bump that Samoa Joe hit him with. Like even though he safely did the move, but at the same time, like he still felt it right into his head. And then this is when oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that's when MJF counted the first time, but MJF tried to do a power driver on his own, but his legs gave out, and that's when Samoa Joe had the advantage, and he did it on it. And that's when the paramedics came out and see if MJF can he still continue. This is when Samoa Joe's like, he was like, like he was laughing so maniacally, like he was playing the heel into this match because obviously MJF's because this is MJF's home state, which is New York. Like, and he was telling the referees like, all right, like, well, that's the case. Like, if he can't no longer, if there's something wrong with him, how about I just finish him off and just beat him, and then he can be off the television getting medically treated for a little while for the next weeks or even months to come. That's what he's looking at. When he started kicking the paramedics right out of the way when they were trying to see some health concerns into the current AEW World Champion MJF, is where this is where Samoa Joe pins MJF. This is where he goes for a 1-2, and then this is where at the last second MJF kicks out at 2.9999. Are you serious right now? Like, even though I'm kind of expecting this to happen in a way, but I didn't know that he's gonna basically annihilate MJF in this match, like by hitting him with plenty of spots, like slamming him right through tables, or even pile driving him right into the exposed concrete, into the ground, and even hit him with the hardest part of the ring, which I probably expected him hitting him somehow, but not in a way that he took MJF and throwing him like if he was a piece of trash, like if he was just a trash can, yeah, like if he was tossing out the trash, when he just tossed him right into the harsh part of the ring, which is the ring apron. And then this is when Samoa Joe. This is when Samoa Joe looks at him in the face. This is when MJF spat him right directly in his face. And this is what pissed off Samoa Joe even more because he slapped the absolute shit out of him. Yeah. Yeah. And then this is when MJF landed face first right into the canvas right after that slap. And then this is when Samoa Joe picks up MJF. This is where. And then this is where he tried to go for a run and hit him with a running clothesline from hell. This is where MJF flips out of it. This is where, and hits him with a running flip, sit out power bomb. I was like, how did MJF lift up Samoa Joe? I'm not sure that I've seen anybody MJF size picked up Samoa Joe in this manner. Like how, like he like MJF showed some superhuman strength tonight. Whether if he was taking bumps or he was slamming Joe and then hitting moves on Samoa Joe. Like I was like, how is he getting? Where did this coming from? Like I would expect someone like a Claudio Castagnoli be having Superman strength tonight, but I wouldn't expect this from the salt of the earth. Like with him running on the bang tonight, yeah. And then even though Samoa Joe kicked out of it, I was still in complete shock. Like Samoa Joe nearly weighs 300 pounds. Like how he could pick him up, yeah. Like how MJF, like a guy that weighs a little bit over 210 pounds, can pick up a man that's nearly 300 pounds. Like, yeah, like that's highly impossible. Yeah. Like, wow. And then this is where he started hitting with knife edge chops. This is where he started running through. This is where he started running towards MJF. Excuse me, Samson. This is where MJF catches him, hits him with a forearm. This is where he hits him with a super kick. This is where he hits him with a running forearm. This is where MJF hit him with right hands repeatedly. This is where he goes up. This is where MJF goes for a sleeper hold. This is where Samoa Joe counters into a Kokita clutch. This is where MJF grabs the referee and not see what he's about to do, which he kicks him and hits Samoa Joe with a low blow, which is the grandest and the cheapest move in all of sports entertainment. This is where he backs up and hits him into the corner turnbuckle in the bottom right side. This is where MJF sneakily grabs the Dynamite diamond ring. This is when the ref. And then when he's about to hit it with Samoa Joe, this is where he's like, wait a minute, like, I see what you're doing. Like, get this out of here. This is gonna get you DQ. Like, even though you're gonna retain if you ever did hit him with this, but we're gonna have a fair fight right here, right now, and this is my job to keep it that way. And this is when Samoa Joe kicks him right into the family jewels, when the referee did not see it when he was putting away MJF's Dynamite diamond ring. This is where he puts him right on the top rope. He hits him with the Samoan muscle buster, which he thought that was gonna be it, which I believe everybody thought was it. Like, even my own mother thought was gonna be it. When he hit him, slammed him right into the canvas. This is where a referee went 1, the referee went 2, and how could you not? This is when MJF kicks out right before the referee strikes the 3, and then I was like, what? Like, wow! Like, how impressive! Like he just kicked out of it, even though MJF is the most craziest and the most I would say the most craziest and the most hated guy into professional wrestling. I'll say not like the number one, but like one of the most, like next to Dominic Mysterio, of course. But this is where Samoa Joe's trying to go for the Kokita clutch. Like, yeah, that locked in. This is where Adam Cole came. That's when Adam Cole came out and started motivate. This is where he started motivating MJF that he could do this. Like, come on, you can do this. And this is when he nearly fainted. This is when the referee started doing the arm to see if he's still in the match. Like, and he's not. Is he still awake and conscious into the match, or is he knocked out from the choke from the Kokita? So he started doing like 1, and then he did 2, and then this is when the referee tried to go for a 3. This is when MJF lifted his arm up. He's still. I was like, how does he still in this match? And then this is when he tried to go for the Kokita clutch. This is when Samoa Joe pushed the referee out of the way. This is where Adam Cole sort of created the distraction to distract the Samoan submission machine. This is when MJF grabbed that white piece of string from the one that holds the turnbuckle pad up. This is where he grabbed it to choke out Samoa Joe, start turning around, tie it together, and start choking out not MJ, Samoa Joe. MJF was choking out Samoa Joe. And that's how he put him to sleep. I was like, he literally did. I was like, the only way I would think that MJF's gonna choke him out, like if there was some outside shenanigans with Roderick Strong and in the Kingdom, but obviously they didn't came out, so they just they were still in the hospital, I suppose, and this is where he put him to sleep, and then this is where Adam Cole was celebrating MJF's latest victory and successfully defending the championship, and he said what he said was going to do the Samoan submission machine. I got to hand that to MJF, even though he cheated. He used that white string thing like that holds up the turnbuckle pads to choke him out, but yeah, But I believe, I guess, that he did what he got to do in order to retain his biggest prize, the biggest prize and his biggest achievement in professional wrestling, and the biggest prize of all elite wrestling. But this is where Samoa Joe came out and he was like, this is when he going up to his hand. He's like, I guess you proved me wrong, and you're more than just a kid. And you said you're gonna choke me out. I want to offer you the handshake of respect. And I was like, yeah, that's some good sportsmanship. And I was like, even though he's the most selfish and mentally douchebag into professional wrestling, but yeah, you got to give credit when it's due. He said what he was going to do, and that was choking out the Samoan submission machine, even though he did in the most dirtiest way that you could possibly ever could have done. But they celebrated. That's how AEW Dynamite ended with the Grand Slam. AEW Grand Slam Dynamite ended, and what do y'all think about about tonight's AEW Grand Slam edition of Dynamite? Y'all let me know down in the comments, and also let me know about are gonna watch the AEW Rampage and Collision at this Friday and Saturday. Y'all also let me know about that as well. And I guess I'm going to end it right here. I'll say I'll give the match alone with Samoa Joe for being such an entertaining match. I would say I would give it 5 stars itself, and I would say the same with the AEW International Championship. It told somewhat of a story, but at the same time, it was in a shocking way. It was so shocking. It even amazed me. It was very great. And I'll say even the women's championship match, even though it was a bit goofy and too crazy to even be a match with Toni Storm versus Saraya, but despite that, it was still a good, entertaining match. It even had my sister my sister entered watching the match of the women's championship match. But yeah, I would say overall, I would give it a full 4 stars. I'll say, but for the matches side, I would say for 3 out of 4 matches of being 4 big matches, I would say I would give it 5 stars from 3 out of the 4, and then 4 would be 4. But overall, I would give it a 4 stars out of the 5. I would say it wasn't the greatest match, the greatest show ever, nor the greatest show, but I would say this was the most entertaining show that I've ever watched and I ever review. Is one of the AEW shows that I ever review onto the SNA podcast. So I'm gonna give it 4 stars out of 5. Now, how y'all would rate AEW Dynamite tonight? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. I'm gonna end this video right here. And if you like this video, make sure you click on the thumbs up button. Make sure you comment down below, and then you click the subscribe button, click the notification bell on the side, so you can be notified when we make a next upcoming video. Me at the moment, or as soon as I make my next upcoming video. And tomorrow I'm gonna be doing the SNA podcast, episode 42 of the Wrestling News, part 7, or no, part 8. No, it's part 8. Yeah, of the SNA podcast, the Wrestling News part 8. Make sure y'all check that out. And also, yeah, And also, I hope I'll have a great night, and I'll see you guys later. I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin. This was the episode of again for episode the 41st episode of the SNA podcast. This is the episode 41 of the SNA podcast. I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin, of the review of the special edition of the AEW Grand Slam Dynamite review part 6, and I'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon, I guess. Super Ninja Austin, the assassin, out. Okay.